At 6:42 a.m., off Venezuela's northern coast, a quiet patrol became a moment of disbelief. The Venezuelan Navy believed it was tracking a fishing trawler, until the ocean itself seemed to rise. 2 miles beyond their patrol line, black steel broke through the waves, throwing seawater 30 feet into the air. No radio call, no distress signal, just a silent wall of American metal emerging from the deep. On board the Venezuelan patrol ship Guaycay, sonar screens flared from calm blue to screaming red. "Large contact. Rapid ascent," the operator whispered, as every man on the bridge stared at the sight before them. The sail of a U.S. Navy Virginia-class submarine piercing daylight. It wasn't drifting. It was staging. Every bubble, every motion, intentional. "General quarters," barked the captain, engines roaring as the ship pivoted starboard to maintain a safe intercept. The sub didn't move. It sat there calm and commanding, its dark hull glinting under the sunrise. No flag, no number, no fear. The Venezuelans knew exactly what it was. A nuclear-powered fast attack vessel designed to stay unseen until it wanted to be seen. Minutes passed. The ocean fell silent, broken only by the slow drip of seawater down the sub's sail. "Keep recording," the captain ordered. They didn't yet know it wasn't an accident. It was a message. The Guaycay was no stranger to foreign shadows. Built with Italian systems, crewed under Soviet doctrine, patrolling Venezuela's Bolivarian security zone to keep foreign ships honest. On paper, routine. In reality, a front-row seat to the world's most advanced navy operating just beyond their borders. That morning, their patrol was steady. 14 knots, clear skies, fishing chatter on the radar. Then the ocean broke open, and everything changed. A Virginia-class submarine now sat 1.8 nautical miles ahead, uncomfortably close, perfectly still. Aboard the American vessel, every movement unfolded with cold precision. Surface watch crews at their stations, emission control minimal, communications silent. The U.S. Navy calls this presence ops, showing the flag without saying a word. Legally clean in international waters, but politically, it was the equivalent of parking a fighter jet at someone's front door. For both sides, this was no longer about territory, it was about posture. At 6:47 a.m., the standoff began. The U.S. sub held position, motionless, 7,800 tons of silent authority staring down a smaller, anxious patrol ship. On the Venezuelan bridge, tension thickened. "Maintain course, 15 knots, keep visual," ordered the captain, voice steady, eyes locked on the steel giant ahead. In the sonar room, the operator strained for sound. Nothing. No prop wash, no vibration. The sub was perfectly still. Then a single ping echoed. A clean, unmistakable sonar pulse from the American side. Not a threat, but a statement. "They're holding depth 0, came the report. The Venezuelans watched, awestruck, as sunlight glinted across the black hull less than 2 miles away. For some, it was their first time seeing an American submarine up close. Sleek, smooth, enormous. The kind of machine built not to start wars, but to end them. On the U.S. side, every second was logged, every reflection measured. In modern naval warfare, the battle doesn't begin with missiles. It begins with information. By 6:52, the closest point of approach was 1.3 nautical miles. The sea between them felt charged, alive, and deadly still. This was posture warfare, precision chess played on open water. To understand why a U.S. submarine surfaced this close, you have to look wider. For months, Washington had been running Operation Sentinel South, an effort to track drug routes and arms smuggling across the Caribbean. Many of those routes passed through waters Venezuela claims as part of its security zone, a gray area in the law, a spark in global politics. The U.S. calls it freedom of navigation. Venezuela calls it provocation. Encounters like this happen often, quietly and always deliberately. When a Virginia-class submarine surfaces near a patrol zone, it isn't cornered. It's sending a message. We can go anywhere, anytime, and you'll only know when we decide. These submarines can remain submerged for months, completely silent, observing every movement without detection. So when they surface, It's not by mistake. It's because they've already seen what they came for. For Venezuela, it's more than a violation of space. It's proof of surveillance. Their navy, built for smugglers and coastal defense, wasn't made for this kind of encounter. Both nations understood the stakes. Neither wanted conflict, but both needed to show strength. For the U.S., it was about enforcing maritime law. For Caracas, it was about sovereignty. Between them lay an invisible border, one wave away from a diplomatic crisis. By 6:57, tension reached its peak. The submarine hadn't moved for 15 minutes. Its command sail aimed directly at the Venezuelan ship like a drawn blade. "Hold course. Keep weapons cold," came the captain's steady order, his hand gripping the rail. On deck, 50-caliber gunners stood by, not aiming, just ready. Cameras rolled. Radios whispered. Then suddenly, the sub shifted. A slow roll to port, just 10 degrees, but full of meaning. "She's turning toward us," the watch officer said quietly. The captain glanced at his bearing indicator. 084. 083. The alignment was intentional. In naval language, it meant they were being painted. Targeted by position, not radar. The captain countered with a textbook move, adjusting course to slide parallel, showing readiness without aggression. Inside the sub, American cameras and sensors recorded every second. They weren't provoking, they were documenting. The U.S. commander knew Caracas would study this footage later. He was giving them exactly what they wanted. A display of power that broke no rules. The Guayque's adrenaline surged. CPA 1.0 nautical miles, the executive officer reported. "Steady," said the captain. The standoff was absolute. Then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the submarine dipped its nose and began to descend. No signal, no sound. Just bubbles, rolling like smoke as it slipped back beneath the waves. In 20 seconds it was gone. The ocean sealed shut as if nothing had ever been there. By 7:03, silence returned. The Venezuelan crew stood frozen, staring at calm blue water where a moment ago an American Leviathan had hovered. "Mark last known coordinates. Save all logs," the captain said flatly. They had just brushed against a power far greater than their own. 10 more minutes of scanning revealed nothing. The ocean had erased it. 200 feet below, the submarine was already sliding back into the dark. Its mission complete. Its data encrypted and transmitted to U.S. Southern Command. Above, the Venezuelans began to relax, slowly, cautiously, still not trusting the quiet. Incidents like this rarely make the news, but they redraw the unspoken balance of power across the Caribbean. The U.S. calls it gray zone warfare, shows of strength that never cross the line into conflict. Every second of this morning's encounter was recorded, analyzed, and archived. Because in modern naval strategy, victory isn't about firing first. It's about being there first. Control of the sea isn't earned by noise. It's earned by presence. And that morning, presence belonged to the United States. For the Venezuelan sailors, it became a story they'd tell for the rest of their lives. For the Americans, it was just another patrol, another silent lesson, delivered in steel,